like that?
Yeah. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It's Friday. And we're getting this stuff going Friday. It's the Villain Report. Welcome one. Welcome all. I am the 313 Villain. My name is Russell Wayne. I am the UDFA of sports podcasting, the unwanted, the unfiltered, the unapologetic voice of the fan base that bleeds Honolulu blue. All right, Villain Squad, gather round. It's Fix It Friday on the Villain Report. It's Fix It Friday on the Villain Report, and we've got plenty to unpack heading into this Lions versus the Giants showdown. Today we're breaking down, is Kelvin Sheppard's defense becoming dominant? Can the offensive line bounce back and set the tone again? And what are the real keys to victory this week? And plus, the Villain's got another message for all of the Debbie Downer fans who are still crying about positivity. The standard hasn't changed. The mission hasn't changed. The grit hasn't left Detroit. Join the conversation. Bring your hot takes. Let's fix what needs fixing. So drop your takes into the comments. Hit that share button, and let's fix the team together. This episode is brought to you by Fanatics.com. That's right. If you're down with the 313 or hell, any team, if you bleed whatever team you bleed, if you follow a different team that isn't as good, that's fine. Then you need to gear up like the real one over at Fanatics, our official merch partner. Here's what you do. You use that Villain QR code right there up there in the left-hand corner of the screen and save up to 25% off of your order. Every click supports the channel, the page, and lets the world know that the fans of your team do it bigger and better. The Villain Squad don't do knockoffs. We do official. We do Fanatics. Get yours. Detroit Lions the Lions Villain Squad has just crossed over 96,000 villains. We are on a beeline right towards 100,000. Help us get there. If you're a fan of Detroit sports or you're a troll of Detroit sports, liking, commenting, sharing, that helps the algorithm. That helps us reach more football fans, and you can connect with me. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, wherever you scroll, the Villain rolls, and that's what we are doing here. And welcome officially here to the program. What's going on, everybody? Let's visit some peeps into the comments right here. We got Dave in the house.
You like that?
What's up, Dave? What's up, John Kapler?
Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah. Said it's going to be a nice little warm-up game right here. Man, I'm not looking past these guys. Dwayne, what's up?
You like that?
Dwayne in the house. Kneecaps are here. Good morning.
You like that?
Mr. Kneecap. I'm going to call you Mr. Kneecap because Jeremy was one of the people that helped me break into this whole podcasting thing. After COVID, I didn't know what to do. After COVID, I lost all. I mean, I'm a musician. So, hey, you know what? I'll take this time right here to promote my show. I got a show coming up. I got a Toolology show coming up. Here, let me get this this screen in here. I'm doing this on the fly, this part on the fly. So let me find what do I need to do here? How do I do that? I need to put an image up here. There we go. There we go. That's what I want to do. I got a show coming up. And I want to 313 Nation. So if you're part of the 313, y'all better mark your calendar in permanent ink because Friday, January 30th, 2026, it's about to get loud. Your boy, the villain, the 313 villain is stepping out from behind this mic and stepping right up on stage as the lead singer of Toolology, the ultimate tribute to Tool. And you read that right. The UDFA of sports is now the UDFA of melting faces. In Flint, Michigan, doors at 7 o'clock. It's only $15 in advance, but wait. For everybody else but the listeners of the show, you can hit me up in the DM, and the Villain Squad will comp your ticket. That's right. If you're going to make a trip all the way to Flint, Michigan, and watch this show, the Villain's going to comp your ticket, at least while supplies last. I can't comp every ticket, but I might be able to run that until Christmas. So if you love Tool, if you love live music, and you love seeing the Villain fire off high notes like Aiden Hutchinson firing off the edge, then this is your night. Let's pack this machine shop with a bunch of football fans and a bunch of football jerseys. Let's make Maynard proud, or at least confused. So the tickets are on the QR codes on the flyer, or hit me up. Or really, if you want to go, I'll comp your ticket. That's the way that I feel about that. So thank you for letting me rant that out there for a little bit. So I appreciate that. Do you know what happens when people who watch the Villain Squad and don't like and subscribe? Do ya? Do ya?
You just made the list!
Thanks, Trim Reaper. Oh my gosh. So Dart is playing. That's what I just heard straight from Jeremy B in the house. Right here. Oh, I'm on the wrong side there. Okay, I got this thing all messed up right there. There you go. Let's see, make sure I said hello to everybody else. I had Kneecaps in there. John Kapler. Trim Reaper in the house.
You like that?
That's right. Wait.
You just made the list!
I know that you want to make the list. And, I don't know. John, what's up, John?
You like that?
I want to make sure that I get everybody in that love. So where do I want to start with a little bit today? Because I got a Kelvin Sheppard take right here. Let me tell you something, Detroit. If you're not paying attention to what Kelvin Sheppard is cooking on that side of the ball, then you're asleep at the wheel. The defense isn't just playing better. They're starting to look dangerous. They're starting to look like they could be a top level defense in this league. Top 5. That's what that is my take. This is a top 5 defense. And you can see it all the way up front with the collapsing pockets, the way the secondary is closing space, the way that they're tackling looks cleaner and meaner every single week. That's not luck. That's identity forming right in front of your very eyes. And every time someone wants to chirp about the offense having a rough night, the special teams letting one slip, that's fine. But don't be blind to the fact that Shep's group is making a beeline towards dominance, and the teams are going to hate playing Detroit once this unit fully locks in. So if you can't see it, that's a you problem. That's not a Lions problem. So what do you think of the Lions defense? What do you think of the Lions defense starting to show out? What do you think about the defense looking like the offense did last year? It looks like the defense this year is the dominant force on the Lions. And I'll tell you what, I like that better. I like it better than having a dominant offense. I love having a dominant offense. Don't get me wrong. I love some Jahmyr Gibbs. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know, I love our playmakers. Hell, I even love our offensive line, even though they didn't have a good week last week, because I do believe that they will bounce back. That's fine. We got an offense that can score. I believe that we're still going to be able to score. We should be able to score against anybody. I'm not going to let one bad game just tear down the offense completely. But the defense, the thing is, the defense wins championships. We wouldn't know anything about championships, but we've seen plenty of championship teams as Lion fans. It's not like we stopped watching football when our team was bad. When the team was bad, you got to watch, a different team be great. But we still watch those teams be great. And one thing that all of those teams had in common is the defense would step up at right times. And especially during the playoffs, you need a dominant defense. You need a dominant defense. The Lions found out firsthand what it's like to run into a defense when you're playing a team that can stop your offense. Because if you can stop teams, then you're always going to have a chance to win. And Kelvin Sheppard had a quote in yesterday's press conference where he said he doesn't care if Dan goes for it on every fourth down, because the job of the defense is to go in there and put out the fires. We can put out the fires. The defense that can put out the fires is going to make your offense look good no matter what it is. You know, there's a little bit of criticism on Jalen Hurts out there and the offense not doing good, but you know what? It gets washed over. It gets washed over because here's the thing. If you win the game, it doesn't matter. If you score more points than the other team, it doesn't matter. And that's what a defense can provide for you. And that's what we have right here and right now, is this dominant defense. Kelvin Sheppard is the next great coordinator. Last year, it was Ben Johnson. And obviously, Ben Johnson is proving that he was the better of the two coaches, at least at this point in time. There was always questions about Aaron Glenn and his defenses when he was here, even though the players love him. And I think a lot of the fan base ends up, loving Aaron Glenn, because the players loved Aaron Glenn. Coaches loved Aaron Glenn. He's a great motivator. He got a head coaching job. But Kelvin Sheppard's got this defense playing at a level that it's never been at before. And you can see it every week. Every week you can see it getting a little bit better and a little bit better. And it's been putting out, I mean, even against Minnesota, everyone's like, oh, you got a rookie quarterback that came in and diced you guys up. He said he threw for 147 yards. And that's why I think that the defense is being glossed over. Like, people aren't realizing that this defense is starting to become one of the best defenses, because two of the better performances that they've had on defense were in losses. It wasn't J.J. McCarthy that beat the Lions. It wasn't Jalen Hurts that beat the Lions. It was their defenses. Our defenses were playing good in both of those games. He threw for 150 yards. J.J. McCarthy didn't even throw for 150 yards. Jalen Hurts didn't do much better. Saquon Barkley shut down. The Lions can stop the run. The defense is dominant, guys. Like, I'm allowed to say positive things about the team, even though everybody else doesn't want to say positive things about the team. And I dig it. It's okay. It's okay. Because I got to address the Debbie Downer crowd again. Why do I got to do this? Why do I got to do this week after week? Like, you coming after the villain because I want to be positive about some things? Oh, the offense's line is bad. What are they going to do? Oh, the Ben Johnson. And I'm pointing out that the defense is playing good, and all of a sudden I'm just like a homer. Come on, guys. So here's my rant. Because I got to address these the Debbie Downer brigade real quick. Because y'all been louder than a Philly fan with a fresh battery pack. And every time the Lions hit a little bump, here you come, season's over, fire everybody, the sky is falling. Relax. Some of you act like positivity is kryptonite. So you upset everything. You're so upset. So you're upset that everything that I post after a loss isn't doom and gloom. Suddenly, the villain is public enemy number one because I won't join your pity party? You know who you are. The ones that show up after every loss with, I told you so. With that energy, like it's a personality trait. Newsflash. Believing in this team does not make me delusional. It makes me makes me believe in the team. And it makes you chronically miserable. Having a little optimism isn't a crime in Detroit. So let me help you. It's okay to admit that the defense is rising. It's okay to admit that the offense can bounce back. And it's okay to admit that this team is still dangerous. But if being miserable is your brand, then that's fine. Wear it proudly. Just don't expect the rest of us to join your pity party parade. Okay? We're allowed to acknowledge that the problems and see that there's a path forward. That's called balance. It's not blindness. So if you want to go pout in the corner, you can go ahead, take a timeout, and the rest of us, we're looking at the team that can still punch back, fix their issues, stack wins. So you stay mad, and the villain and the fans that still want to believe in this team will stay focused. So the villain will finish this rant with a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, and it's not 10 because the villain does it bigger, how confident are you that the Lions can bounce back? Let me know in the comments. Rant over.
You just made the list.
So, see, I know Jeremy likes to be a positive type of guy. Here's a good point right there. We stopped the tush push 3 times. No other defense has done that. Yeah, but how'd that help them in the end? Hey, it didn't. They lost the game. They had 5 failed fourth downs, which should have been 6 failed fourth downs because the referees screwed the good fan out of the proper ending to that game. And I'm not crying about the referees. I just like good football. And good football doesn't end with a flag. You ruined the proper ending. You know what the proper ending of that game would have been? And I'll say it again. The proper ending was one of 2 things. Jared Goff lying on his back with Jalen Carter looking down on him, and 6 failed fourth down attempts. Or it ends with a Lions touchdown after the punt and a exciting, great for football fans 2-point conversion. That's what happens. So the Lions didn't get screwed. The football fan got screwed. But we did stop the tush push 3 times, and that actually felt pretty good. Shout out to Broski.
You like that? You like that?
John Kapler said, what's a good chance we beat Philadelphia is Dan learned and let Jake fake field goals earlier. Offense, if the game was closer, we don't want field goals, not a 35-yard. I'm not sure what you got to slow down your type in there, John, a little bit. I think sometimes you get excited and I'm trying to read your comment. I think what's a good chance we beat Philadelphia is Dan. I think you're saying if Dan learned to let Jake fake field goals, dealer offense, and have been more motivated if the game was closer. No, we don't want field goals, not a 35-yarder. The field goals, when you look at the field goal tries, if you want to say that he should have kicked 3 really long field goals, I think that all of them except the one would have been over 50 yards. And he kicked the 50-yarder at the end because we had to. We were running out of time. I don't think that he would have kicked that no matter what. And actually, he went out there to go for it. And then I think a penalty was called or something and tried to draw him offside. Defense wins championships. 8. Let's go. 11. Thank you. Thank you for answering the question. 10. You got some confidence in here. Was that my John Dorn impression? Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen John. Like, I haven't seen John in a while. He only comes out every once in a while. He don't like me. He doesn't want to come on here and face truth. Because I give it back to him. Let's see. Text to talk does suck. Yeah, I'm trying. I was trying to read that, John. I think that you're on our side. Kneecaps, that right there. Jeremy says, when Jake missed the 50-yard extra point early due to the win, I get why they went for it. Granted, it was 48 yards. Yeah, I'm not going to create. That's what Dan is. Dan's going to go for it. And it's like when it doesn't work, everyone wants to come in and tell you how bad it is. When it does work, we're silent. So, like, I don't subscribe to that. You're an aggressive coach. Lots of teams are doing it now. Lots of teams are aggressive anymore. And in that game, you're at the 35, 40-yard line. You want to kick a 57-yard field goal, and you think that's why we lost the game. Here's why you lost the game. Five times. 5 times you failed on 4th down. You get one of those, and the game might have been a win. That's it. Convert on 4th down. You don't have to convert all of them, but convert half of them. You need 2. You need 2 out of 5. And you do that job, then you're doing your job. That's good. Dwayne says, I believe that the Lions will bounce back. They will make the playoffs. Yeah, because right now we're not in the playoffs. If the season ended right now, we would have missed the playoffs. But I'm sure that we would have played with a little more urgency. I mean, I don't know. It's different at the end of the season when teams are fighting for their lives. Let's see what else we got in here. There we go. Defenses and skilled positions are solid. So yeah, I like that. Yeah, John says, congratulations, Jeremy. We stopped the tush push 3 times. Awesome. We still lost the game. See, that's doom and gloom. That's doom and gloom. We're not allowed to look at anything positive from the game. We have to go rehash it. Sometimes they even go back to other games that we lost. I really came to this conclusion of the doom and gloom fans last year when we went 15-2. Because after we lost both of the games, people will go back to the last loss or the last time that it was and skip over all the good and pretend like it's just the Lions thing. And all of a sudden it's over. Oh, Jared Goff needs to run the football. He needs to be better in the pocket. Jared Goff needs to learn how to be mobile. That's why we're not winning, because Jared Goff isn't mobile. How did that help? Did that help Josh Allen last night? Josh Allen's a mobile quarterback. What happened? Josh Allen's mobile. I thought mobile was supposed to fix everything. 8 sacks, 2 interceptions. Whose fault is that? I thought he was mobile. I thought mobility fixed everything. And you lost to the 5-5 Texans. And now you're 7-4. Is the sky falling? I mean, the Bills have no chance of making the playoffs now. They're done. Bills are done. They're finished. They need a pocket quarterback. God, if they only had somebody like Jared Goff over there in Buffalo. I mean, whatever fits your narrative on that week, that'll work. That's all right. But you know what? It's okay for me to be positive. I'm going to continue to be positive. Broski wants to get into the Packers versus Packers Vikings. Packers Vikings. I mean, I don't know. Because really, if you want to create this parity that is in the NFC North right now is one of the tougher divisions. You know, I don't think that the Vikings are as bad as their record shows. And I know all the trolls want to throw us, and not you, Trollski. That's your job. But you know what? Trollski gets a day off from the villain today because my own fans, the Lion fans, who needs a troll when we got Lions fans that want to overreact? We don't even need you in here today, broski. All of the stuff that you would say to talk against the Lions, our fans are already saying. Half the fan base has jumped off the ledge. It's over. Nothing can get fixed. You know, Josh Allen got sacked 8 times last night. Guess what? He's mobile. He's mobile. What happened? I thought mobility was supposed to fix everything. Oh, I love this one. This one's the greatest one, right? It's not doom and gloom. It's truth. It's cold truth. I'm very happy that we stopped the tush push, but like that was the one thing I was happy about. It's not doom and gloom. It's doom and gloom. It's doom and gloom because you're calling me out for saying, hey, they stopped the tush push. Hey, the defense looks dominant. Hey, defense wins championships. Hey, Kelvin Sheppard is the new Ben Johnson, but he's on the defensive side of the ball. I would rather have a top flight defense than a top flight offense. Oh, Russ, you're just delusional. You're just all you got to do. I had somebody call me out on a post, not you, John Kapler. Not it's not you, John Kapler. I'm taking some of my frustration out on John, and he doesn't deserve this. John, you don't deserve this rant that I'm giving because it wasn't you that did it. It's the people that are in my comments calling me out for being positive, telling me that I'm a delusional Homer fan for pointing out positive things like it's like it's kryptonite. So I'm sorry, John. I don't mean to throw all of that energy back at you. I don't. I really don't. I'm going to stop. That way we don't have to go blow for blow with each other here. Because the points that you bring up are valid points. Like the offensive line does have to play better. You do have to go up against these good teams. You're probably going to go up against the Philadelphia Eagles again. And you got to be ready to face elite defensive tackles like Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Because when people ask me, why did they lose? What happened? Why did the Lions fail? And I don't think it's more of the Lions failed on offense more than it is that the Eagles are dominant. The Eagles are a dominant defense. And the Lions aren't going to be the only team that has trouble against the Eagles. I mean, Broski just brought that up last week. Broski, I got some good training from you. Yes, you are a very, very good troll. But all I'm saying is with the Lions fans that are trolling, they troll just as good as you do. When we lose, they all become Bear fans. So yes, you've given me good training on how to handle trolls. I just get frustrated when it's my own team, when it's the own fans of the own team. Like, I choose to focus on the positive things because here's the thing. Inside Allen Park, when they're practicing, when they're in there doing the practices, nobody's having those, oh my God, what are we going to do? Oh, the offensive line. Oh gosh, well, it was so much better last year with Ben. They're not saying any of that stuff. As a matter of fact, they're not even thinking about the loss anymore. They're moving on. They've looked at the tape. They found out what they got to correct, and they're busting their asses because they bring their lunch pails every day. Oh, broski, you're doing a great job. It's okay. What else do we got in here? Good morning, Lions Nation. Adams in the house.
You just made the list.
Welcome to the list, baby. That's right. Fred says 100%. I fought more with Lion fans this season over their weak-ass comments than any other fan base. The bandwagon fans are losing their minds this season. And I think that when it comes with something like that, it's just they're new fans, Fred. The new fans freak out and they ride the wave of good and bad all season long. The seasoned fans understand, we went through 0-16 and game after game after game with no hope. With no hope. I mean, where you couldn't string 2 wins in a row together. You were just hoping to get a win in between the 5 losses. Like, the ones that freak out and that ride this up and down wave, there's no way that you watched all of those games in 2008. I had some friends that were such diehard fans that it's like, tape your eyes open, like, you watch all of it. You decided to watch this crappy team. And tape your eyes open and make sure you see every second of every one of those losses. And I can say that I did that. And that one goes out to anybody that's ever called me a fake fan. I watched every second of every game. I watched it down to the kneel downs, on blowout games where I was forced to watch every single second. I did it. I did that to myself because I want to remember it. I want to remember it for times like these when the team's actually good and they just had a bad game. Jeremy's been saying it on his program too. Smoking Jeremy B. The new fans, they're just not used to having success. And successful teams, they know how to bounce back. Do you think that they're going to panic in Buffalo because they lost the game? They're at 7-4 now. Josh Allen was sacked 8 times. Do you think they're freaking out over there? Do you think the offensive line's going, oh my God, what are we going to do? Doom and gloom. I mean, I'm sure that there's probably some fans over there that are in the doom and gloom. But, I mean, they don't have a Super Bowl, but that's still a successful team. The team's been successful for a while, and successful teams find a way to bounce back. I mean, I'm fully believing that the Lions have the right guys to come in and fix these problems. So, let's talk about some keys to the victory. I did promise some keys to the victory, and let's hit that up. So, when we talk about keys to victory this week, it's really simple. Detroit has to play to its identity. On offense, that means that the O-line is showing up angry after last week's mess. Up front, the offensive line has to set the tone early. Win the trenches. Everything else opens up after that. Gibbs becomes explosive. Goff gets clean pockets, and suddenly the Giants are the ones on their heel. They have to attack. Offensively, that means trusting your weapons, pushing the tempo, and letting Goff take command instead of playing scared behind shaky protection. Punch them early, keep them guessing, and don't let up. Defensively, keep stacking dominance. We're seeing real growth, tighter coverage, faster reads, bodies flying to the ball. And now it's time to make the Giants uncomfortable from snap one. Mix the pressures, force mistakes, and let those big boys up front feast. And it's all about finishing. We're already seeing Kelvin Sheppard's crew swarm. They're already hitting They squeeze the field, and now it's time to turn those pressures into sacks and opportunities into takeaways. The formula is crystal clear. Impose your will, and Kelvin Sheppard's unit is trending. They are trending towards dangerous, and this is a perfect opponent to prove it on. Collapse the pocket, clog the lanes, force the third down and longs, and dare the Giants to beat them with tight, disciplined coverage. And special teams, no freebies. Just make them earn every blade of grass. The Giants aren't built to survive a clean, efficient Lions team. So handle your business. You stay disciplined. You punch first. Detroit walks out with a win. This game is about execution, not excuses. So let's throw it out to the people. What is your biggest key to victory Sunday? Let the villain know in the comments.
You like that?
We're going to bite a kneecap off. We're going to bite a kneecap off.
You just made the list.
Ah, there we go. So, looks like Jackson Dart is playing. And with the way that the Lions have been playing on defense, I think that's a good thing for the Lions, because I do believe that Kelvin Sheppard has advanced looks. They're going to show him stuff that he's never seen before in the NFL, and I say they confuse him, and that's where it's going to get. Fred says keys to victory: score more points than the Giants. There you go. I mean, that's a simple put, right? Oh, man. Let's see what else we got in here. I got to go back up. Let's see. Oh, no. We are tough as hell. We will prevail from you know what? I can put these up later like that. Well, what am I doing? What am I doing? I got to get over here. Get those comments in there. That's right. Good stuff. So I'm glad I got some things off my chest today. And this has been the Lions Villain Report. That's right. The Villain Report. We're talking Fix It Friday. What do the Lions need to do to get that victory? What are we going to do? What needs to be done? Because here's the thing, like, my optimism, you know, I'm not going to freak out if the Lions lose, but I'm definitely not going to come up here with the same bravado that I've had. Because so far, the Lions are taking care of the business when they have bad games. So I'm not freaking out yet, but what do they got to do to fix this? What do they got to do to bounce back in here? You know, if you liked my take on that, let me know in the comments. Remember that comments and, you know, likes and shares, that's what keeps this that's what keeps this station going here. The Lion Villain Squad. It's you guys. You guys putting me up into the algorithm. And what does that mean? What does that mean when I say put up in the algorithm? Well, every time that you like or share or comment or create a conversation in the comments, then what you're doing is you're telling Facebook to show this video to more football fans. And that's what I'm trying to do with my hashtag. So when you comment on there, you're helping push that up there. And the more football fans that we get on here, the more good football conversations we get, the more arguing we get to do, the more emotions that get to fly, the venting. And I don't mind some venting in there. Just don't turn it into doom and gloom. You can be like John Kapler in there, and you can call out the offensive line. And that's okay, but don't dwell on the offensive line like it's something that, you know, that we just have to continue to beat a dead horse over. It's okay, but this offensive line has bounced back before. And you do have young players, you know? Like, you don't want to see the offensive line play like that. You don't want to see rookie Tate Ratledge go out there and lay an egg like that. But the thing is, that gave Tate Ratledge very valuable experience right there. You know, like Ric Flair says, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And right there, that's probably the best front seven they're going to face all year. You know, I mean, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, you know, you got Hunt. They just got Jalen Phillips. They got awesome linebackers, Nolan Smith. You know, that is a good ass defense right there. And that might be the most challenging defense that's in the NFL right now. And the Lions have a very challenging, I think that the Lions have a top 5 defense, and they're going to get into that talk. I'm very excited to watch the defensive game. The defense grow, because I'm a defense guy. Like, a lot of people looked at that last game against Philly, and, you know, I get the doom and gloom. I get, you know, when you play a good defense and they make your offense look bad, I get the frustration on that. But the thing is I looked at it because I'm a defensive guy. I watched a beautiful, a gorgeous defensive battle on Sunday Night Football. That was a great defensive battle. I mean, sure, everybody loves the 45-41 shootouts, excitement, you know, the type of game that has me on Monday going, what the hell happened to the defense, man? I know we scored 45, but gosh, man, can you stop them? That's been our life for 3 years. That's a reality that hasn't changed. We've had a dominant offense for most of this year, and obviously through the last couple years under the tutelage of Ben Johnson. But the offense didn't fall off like it fell off of a cliff here, guys. But the defense has progressed so immensely that, like, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged after a loss. Because if I remember correctly, a few years ago, the San Francisco 49ers went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback, throwing like 3 passes or something like that in the NFC Championship. Because they didn't have to, because their defense was so good. When I think of,
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
what type of team that is, I think that
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
if you have that kind of team, that it's a strong defensive team, not necessarily an offensive team. So picture this, a top 5 defense that can hold a team to under 20 points. And I'll admit, I'm in reality here. John Kapler, this one's for you. I'm in reality. The offense is not as good as it was last year. And, you know, some of that is Ben Johnson. You know, you gotta, I have to admit that I was a little bit off on that at the beginning, but the offense hasn't fallen off of a cliff. I think that it's part the schematic change. You know, you're dealing with a new play caller, an offensive coordinator, but part of it is players. Frank Ragnow, I have his jersey for a reason. He was one of my favorite players. I love the trenches because that's where it all is. But the defense, like, if you rated the Lions offense on a scale of 1 to 100 from last year, you know, last year, I think that the offense was a 95 out of 100. There wasn't very many kinks in that armor. And this year, it's dropped. I think that the offense is probably like a 83 out of 100 at this point. But the defense last year, with all the injuries and everything that was in there, I would probably rate the Lions defense at like, a 71 last year. Maybe I'm even being generous with that because they gave up a bunch of 40 burgers, and that could be personnel or whatever. But this year, I think that that's just such a drastic improvement. I think our defense has moved up to like a 91. So the improvement of the defense is bigger than the downgrade of the offense. You picking up what I'm laying down? Do you agree with that take? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. Do you think that the defense progression is bigger than the offensive degression? It's a good question. I love it when I come up with good unprepared questions. I prepare for a lot of this show and have a lot of the takes in there, but that's a good question, isn't it? Awasika and Colin was complete garbage. Yeah. The loss of Mahogany was the difference last week. That's true. Our defense is crazy strong. All good luck. And good luck keeping our offense tame. That's what Adam says. Our defense is crazy strong, and good luck keeping our offense tame. But I'm not giving the offensive line a pass, though, Jeremy. I get Awasika and Cologne were complete crap. I get that. But that's something that every team's going to have to deal with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. I mean, really, would you agree with me on this, Jeremy, that Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis as defensive tackles, they're probably both in the top 5 at their position? Would you agree with that? And that's special right there. And the reality, you want me to give a harsh reality? This is another one for John Kapler right here. A harsh reality, because the villain doesn't sugarcoat anything, is the Philadelphia Eagles aren't going nowhere. They're not going anywhere. Like the Lions could go out and they could have gotten, whoever on the offensive line. They could have brought back, Frank Ragnow would have trouble against this line. Kevin Zeitler would have trouble against this line. I don't think it's a personnel thing as much as you think that it is more of it's a personnel thing for them. Because I think what a lot of media doesn't do well, the media is great at telling you who doesn't play well. Oh, man, they got to get it together. They should have listened to me. Media is really good at saying stuff like that. Hey, I watched the game with my eyeballs. I know everything about football. They should have blah, 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 blah. They should have blah, 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 blah. But what the media isn't good at, and what the villain's trying to get across, is that's a good Philadelphia team. That's a good Philadelphia team. Very good. And I give more credit to Philadelphia and their defense than I take credit away from the offense. Give it up. What a great defense that is. And if you want somebody that backs me up, go read the article of the game review. Jeremy's got one up in the group right now. The Supervillain group, if you haven't been in to the Supervillain group yet, it's a great group. Bunch of great conversations going on in there. Jeremy posts his articles in there. And he backs me up on this. It's a good team. Sometimes you run into good teams. Shout out Jalen Phillips. A lot of Lions fans think that we missed the boat by not going to get Jalen Phillips. Why didn't we go get a 3rd-round pick after him? Well, we didn't have one. That's a question. That's a story for another day. We don't know how these players are going to turn out. We got to see how this all turns out. But, you know, the Jalen Phillips was a great pickup for them. Their defense is dominant, but the Lions defense is looking dominant too. So both things can be true. So Philadelphia went and got themselves a guy. That's really good. Good trade. Howie Roseman does it again. Philadelphia out there proving why they've been to a couple Super Bowls in a row. 3 Super Bowls. Not in a row, but 2 out of the last 3 Super Bowls. Like, this has been a dominant team for a while. They only had the one off year. And it wasn't even an off year. They lost in the first round of the playoffs. And by the way, they started that season like 10-0 or something like that. I mean, you could honestly say that the only reason that Philadelphia didn't win 3 Super Bowls in a row are a bad call and that one that the Chiefs won a couple years ago. And then they hired Matt Patricia. I can't make this up. Philadelphia, they probably would have won 3 Super Bowls in a row, but they decided for some reason at 10-0 to promote Matt Patricia to the defensive play caller. And then they lost like a whole bunch of games in a row. I can't make it up. It happened. Good stuff. Oh. No, I don't, man. The question, do we need to draft guards this year? No. The question is, can we beat the New York Giants? Like, Reed may play this week. Yeah, we got some injury updates. We got some guys. We got troops coming back. That's another crazy thing about the defense. To me, is that you're already a top defense, and we're getting reinforcements back, like significant reinforcements. And I don't care what you think about Davenport. Davenport is a plus player when he's out there. He's coming back. Been out there practicing. Josh Pascal is coming back. Malcolm Rodriguez is coming back. DJ Reed is coming back. Kirby Joseph will be coming back. Terrion Arnold will be coming back. The bigger question is who are you going to bump for those players? Miles Frazier? I mean, that's cool with the Miles Frazier thing. I mean, I hope that he can, maybe he can have a mahogany-esque, a mahogany-esque type of performance, but you know, we have some other offensive linemen that I think that would play well before Frazier, even if he does get activated. If he does get activated, I think that, you know, I mean, they may bring him to the game, but I mean, this kid's got to get out there and do a little bit of playing. Brad Holmes did see, this is what I love about you, Jeremy. You come in with like, you comment stuff that I can talk about. I love this. Instead of comments that argue with me, that comments that give me talking points, especially here at the end of the show. Brad Holmes did what he did with Hassanin. That was amazing. Brad Holmes deserves some credit for that. You know, we want to crucify him when he doesn't go get the player that we want or some magical dude that's going to fix the whole team and make sure we go undefeated and never lose a game ever again or have a bad game. What Brad Holmes did with Ahmed Hassanin was amazing. It was a show of faith because they gave him an injury settlement which means that he was a complete free agent. Like, he could have signed with any team. And they knew that Hassanin was so loyal to the Lions that they were just going to be able to sign him back. He got a call from all 31 teams. He had a chance to go probably make more money. I'm sure that getting onto a roster, a 53-man roster, pays a lot better than getting on a practice squad, but he turned down money. Another example of a player that Brad Holmes has drafted that chose to stay here over going to a different team for more money. He could have gotten more money going to a different team. And because he was Egyptian born, international pathway players, he doesn't even count against the roster. So not only did he take less money, but he turned down going to a roster. He could have went on a 53-man roster, got playing time earlier. He ain't going to play real quick here. He's not going to get out there right away. They ain't going to have him up on the main roster anytime soon. We got Davenport coming back. I'm sure that as soon as Glassenport gets injured again, then he'll have a spot back on there. But for the time being, he's not even needed on the main roster. He gets to come in and learn. So, but he did turn down other offer. All the other 32 teams, or all the other teams, 31 teams, got a hold of him, and he turned them all down. That's somebody that appreciates the opportunity that was afforded to him by the Lions organization. Took a chance on him. So, so he actually gets 50% of the first year's salary when medically waived. Now he makes $1 million a year again, thus a $500,000 raise. Yeah, that's a $500,000 raise for the Lions. He could have gotten more money somewhere else because he would get that 50% of his first year salary, and then he would actually get the bump. He would get more money to not go to a practice squad. He went to a practice squad. If he got to any other main roster, he would have made more money. And that's respect. That is respect, and that is a evidence. That is big evidence right there that the culture of the great culture that Brad Holmes has built here in Detroit. It's amazing. That's my boy. You're my boy, Blue. Brad Holmes up in the house. That's right. That wasn't the right Brad Holmes one I wanted there. I wanted this Brad Holmes. Right there. Even though it says PFF Tuesday. But this has been the Lion Villain Report. Thank you, everybody, for popping on here today. Let me get some of this music going in the background. So you can join me. Like, I'm not able to do every day on the live, but I do put material out every day. Sometimes I'm able to get on here. I have a crazy, crazy life right now with what I'm going through from Flint schools with my autistic son. So I'm coming on here as many times as I possibly can. At least 3 times a week. You can catch me live right here on the Villain Report. That's right. This episode is brought to you by fanatics.com. If you're rocking with the 313 and you bleed Honolulu blue, then you need to gear up like the real one over at Fanatics, our official merch partner. So here's what you do. You hit that QR code right up there in the corner, and you can save up to 25% off of your order. Every click supports the channel, the page, and lets the world know that fans of your team do it bigger and they do it better. The Villain Squad don't do knockoffs. We do officials. We do Fanatics. Get yours. Crossing over that threshold, we got 96,000 villains on the Facebook page. Thank you guys so much for making this page and this movement a success. If you're a fan of Detroit sports, then you need to be following this. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and X Live, and I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. Liking, commenting, and sharing this helps me get up into the algorithm and show this video to more football fans. So if you're a fan of Detroit sports, help me rush that castle, to bombard that castle of 100,000 villains in there. And thank you so much for your support. It's faith, family, and then football in that order, man. When we use football, use it. Use football. Spend time with your family. Create some memories. Don't let football use you. Don't let football change you when we lose. Don't turn into a Krabby Patty. Krabby Pants guy right there. And I'll do one more promotion right here before I pray out. Toolology. This is my band. This is what I did before COVID hit, and COVID took my livelihood from me. And I am not going to let COVID take it completely from me. So I still do concerts. So Toolology, Detroit, Flint, 313 Nation. You better mark this one on your calendar. Put it in permanent ink, because Friday, January 30th, 2026, it's about to get loud. Your boy, Russell Wayne, is coming out from behind the mic and stepping onto the stage as the lead singer of Toolology, the ultimate tribute to Tool. That's right. The UDFA of sports podcasting is now the UDFA of melting faces. That's right, Detroit. Doors open at 7 o'clock. It's normally $15, but for listeners of this program, if you hit me up in the DM for a short time until I run out, I'm going to comp your ticket. So if you love Tool, the band Tool, 90s metal band, if you love live music, if you love seeing the villain fire off some high notes like Aiden Hutchinson firing off the edge, then this is your night. Let's pack this machine shop. Let's make it sound like Ford Field after a Hutch strip sack. Let's make Maynard proud, or at least confused. The tickets, you can use that QR code down at the bottom. You can get that, or at this point in time, you need to DM me, because I will comp your ticket. I'll put you on the guest list, or I'll give you a hard copy of the ticket. So thank you for giving me that time to promote that. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching the show. I'll see you in the next one. I'm the 313 villain. I'm out.
You like that?
Okay, Brad, this is what we're doing now. The Colts and Cowboys are out there building the Avengers, and you want to collect bargain bin Pokemon cards? You want to sign some guy nobody's ever heard of off a practice squad? That's your big move, huh? Do you know what happens when the entire fan base is sitting around refreshing their phones like it's Black Friday, waiting for anything from you? Huh, Bradley? Do ya? Do you know what happens when you let the moment pass? When you let the league party without you and you sign a player whose Madden rating is NA? Bradley Holmes!
You just made the list!